Hello everyone, my name is Shubhabrata Nayak and today we are going to discuss one of the topic from the plus to first year syllabus, English syllabus, and it is the syllabus of CHSE Odisha, Council of Higher Secondary Education, and we are going to discuss the second topic mm, from the point section. So the topic name is Often in the Stilly Night, which is written by Thomas Murray. Now let me point out before we discuss the poem. So we are going to discuss this poem in English to English. So if you find out any query, any difficulties or any further doubts, so you can call me or you can text me or you can also mail me your feedback and your queries and doubts. So let's discuss the topic. So often in the Stilly Night, which is one of the beautiful poem which is written by Thomas Murray, and we know that Thomas Murray is one of the famous poet, and this is the best poem which he has written. So he's not only a poet but also a satirist, and he also uh, he also becomes a composer and a political propagandist. So if I talk about political propagandist, so what do you mean of that? So the meaning of propagandist is called as a someone means who gives political means you can say that rumors or who have a view on means biased view on politics. So Thomas Murray also considered as one of them. So he is not only an Irish poet but also a satirist, composer, and means gives a prejudice view on politics. So was born in the year of 1779 to 1852. So let's move to his poem. But before we move to his poem, let me point out. So we are going to discuss the warm-up section. So what does it give? What is that actually warm-up? So warm-up is nothing but giving you the idea what this poem is all about. Now, if you talk about means often in the Stilly Night, it is a poem which makes a link with the past and the present, right? So it tries to give you the discussion or details about how the poet recollects his memory of a childhood age and a childhood age of the past, and he thinks about the sweet memories or called as the sad memories means with which he lives, right? So we talk about when we talk about sad memories or sweet memories, so sad memories and sweet memories of his past, so he enjoys those fond memories, right? So he thinks about that how elderly people who have a very little to look forward to often recall friendships and past incidents. So when they recall, so at the same time they feel the emotion, right, and the sentiments, so that creates the kind of a feelings on them. So Thomas Murray tries to draw the memories of past and present in this particular poem. It is considered as one of the finest songs of Murray, with a complete adaptation of words to music and music to words, along with a high quality of poetical merit in the verse or in the poem. Now, let's read this poem and try to identify the poet desires for the days which uh, which has passed by, and the dear ones who have left him. Now he feels isolated. He feels alone, right? And based on that, he tries to recollect his memories and makes a kind of a comparison with the past and the present, right? So let's move to the poem. So the poem indicates about what? The first, let me point out, this is a kind of a poem which have 28 lines, and it has been segregated into two stanzas. The first stanza is uh, 14 lines, and the second stanza also 14 lines. So we can say that there is a means two sonnets present in the poem, right? So it means double sonnets. So what do you mean by sonnet? Sonnet means it is a poem of 14 lines. Though we find out means that there are 28 lines, so therefore we consider it's a double sonnet, right? And the kind of a rhyming scheme we find out, so we find out it's a iambic tetrameter. So we find out the rhyming scheme is A B A B C C, and then after it continues like that, A B A B C C, like that it goes forward. So how do we identify the rhyming scheme? So let me point out here. You can see that the text says, often in the stilly night erase slumber's chain has bound me, and fond memory brings the light of other days around me. So the smiles, the tears of boyhood's years. Now, if you look into the rhyming scheme, so night is called as A, and erase slumber chain has bound me is called as a B. So night with light, so in that case A, and me with me, it's a BB. So that's what is the rhyming scheme. So when one word of the means, end of the first line, when makes a rhyme with the second line's last word, so that called as a rhyming, right? And we can find out tears and years. So CC, AB, AB, CC. So like that, it also goes on. You can say that it's a D and E. So like that also we move forward and see that means the next part also D and E, right? So this is something called as a rhyming scheme, which we find out in this particular poem. So the main idea of this poem, or the poetical device we can draw out of this poem, is nothing but simile, metaphor, and means a rhyming scheme is A B A B C C, and also it divides into two stanzas, and each stanza consists of 14 lines, so it means it carries of double sonnet. Now let me discuss this poem, right, line by line. Now what do you withdraw? As I have already pointed, this is the poem which where the speaker draws the idea of its past and tries to compare with the present. Now, so the first line of the poem tells that often in the stilly night, Eris slumber's chain has bound me. Fond memory brings the light of other days around me. The smiles, the tears of boyhood's years, the words of love then spoken, the eyes that shone. So the speaker wants to say that often, oft is indicating as a often. So often in the stilly night, or in a calm and quiet night, a calm and quiet night. So we know that means here the image of night has been qualified as a calm and quiet, right? It's a natural image. You can say that calm and quiet, quiet night, quite often in the calm and quiet night. So what happened? So the poet, right, recollects, right, the memory before he goes to the bed, right? It indicates that ere slumber. So ere is the means archaic one, the old English. So ere means before. So the poet wants to say that means how does he recollects the memory before he goes to the means a bed. So here the word slumbers means you can say that deep sleep, or you can say that means unconscious state, right? Deep sleep, or you can say that uh, means unconscious state. So how does the poet means uh, before the deep sleep or unconsciousness which controls him? So it is stated, no, ere slumbers chain has bound me. So before the deep sleep or unconsciousness controls him, right? So fond memory. So here the meaning of the fond memory is called as a sweet memory, right? Sweet memory of what? Sweet memory of the past that brings the happiness to him. So here the word light is indicating about happiness. The poet here tells that what, when he goes into the bed for sleeping, so or when he here deep sleep is metaphorically given as the information of unconsciousness, right? So whenever we go into the bed we forget everything and we find ourselves in the state of means unconsciousness, right? So that is the reason the poet here says that often or most of the time during the calm and quiet night, before the unconsciousness controls him, the beautiful memory or the sweet memory makes him bright or called as a makes him light or called as a happiness of other days around me. So other days is indicating about those sweet memory of his past days. So here the meaning of past other days is called as a past past age. So past age means called as a childhood age or youngest age. That is what the poet here wants to convey. That fond memory brings the happiness of past days around him that he spent during his childhood age. The poet here also stated the smiles, the tears of boyhood years. It means the happiness or the sadness that he went through during his childhood age. The words of love then spoken. So the poet wants to convey that during his childhood age, he was young, he was means full of charm, and also um, he used to make sweet words with his friends, with his relatives, with his family, with his near and dears. So at that time, means he was physically and mentally also strong. So that is the region he pointed. The words of love then spoken, then is indicating about the past time. The eyes that shone. So physically he is also means physically he was also fit. So that's why he could see everything clear. That's why it is pointed. The eyes that shone. Shone is indicating the past tense of shine. So the eyes that clearly sees, but now he could not see anything. That's what he tries to make the comparison of past with the present. So in that case, we can clearly identify the idea of from the first that what most of the time during the calm and quiet night, so before the unconsciousness or deep sleep controls him. Him means referring to the speaker or the uh, means poet. So the beautiful memories or sweet memory of his past days makes him happy. So whenever he thinks about those of the past memories where he spent some of the beautiful means time, some of the sweet time, right? So those memory means makes him happy. Of other days around me, so other days referring to the past days which he spent. So he tells about the smiles, the tears, the happiness, and the sadness of his childhood days. The words of love then spoken, the eyes that shone. So it indicates that how does the poet was physically fit and also how does he make the relationship with others. He used to tell sweet words to others. So he could see everything clearly. He sees everything means beautiful. But what happened now? So why does the poet means compare with the present with the past? Now he compares present past with the present because he finds out at present he doesn't have the same kind of a means same kind of a state. So the poet wants to convey here that now dimmed and gone. Now look into it. So the poet again used the time and stating about the present situation. So now is indicating as a present. So at present, what happened? Now he could not see anything clearly. In past, he could see everything clear, right? But at present, now he finds out everything looks dimmed, not clear, right? So and gone also, and gone means what? Means he was physically deteriorating or degrading his physical condition. Mentally he was also not strong, right? Those means words who that he used in the past, and those are called as the sweet words. Now those cheerful means and sweet words he could not make it at present. That's the reason he pointed. The cheerful hearts now broken means he could not speak means sweet words to anyone. Now he is completely isolated. Now he is deserted from his friends. He is separated from his friends. Right? Therefore, he states that thus in the stilly night. So again he uses the repetition and stated therefore in the stilly night or in a calm and quiet night before the deep sleep controls him, right? Before the deep sleep controls him. So here the word hath is the archaic language which means called as a hatch, right? So before the deep sleep or unconsciousness has bound him or called as a hover on him or controlled him, sad memory brings the light. So again he finds out some of the means sad memory, right? So thinking about the past, he feels very sad, right? So he also stated that what now sad memory brings the light of other days around him, right? So he thinks about means how those past means days when he spent some time with his friends and those friends are not with him, right? So he feels very sad on that, and those sadness those sadness of the past, right, which he recollects. Now, moving to the next one, and we can find out the poet also stated about what when I remember all, when I remember all the friends so linked together I have seen around me fall. Like leaves in wintry weather, I feel like one who treads alone some banquet hall deserted, whose lights are flayed, whose garlands stayed, and all but he departed. So the poet feels sad for what actually? Now, when he recollects the past and he finds out those of the friends whom he remembered, right? So those of the friends who are means who are associated with him, so that's why he stated, when I remember all. So all is referring to as means his friends. The friends who are linked together means associated together, right? Or associated with him, right? So those of the friends with him, not now, right? So when I remember all the friends who are associated together, I have seen around me fall. Now we can draw the idea here. The word fall is indicating to death. The poet states that those of the friends who are associated with him in the past, now they are means now they are means dying one after another. So now they all are means falling down, right? Like means like leaves in winter weather. Now we can see that the poet has used the simile, the word called as a like. So we know that we call simile to those of the means those of the poetic line where the poet used like and as. When the word as or like is used to compare one object with the other, so that's called as a simile. Like here, we find out the metaphorical term fall is used with death, death. So at the same time, the poet also used means his friends are like leaves, right? So during the wintry weather or winter season, so the means the leaves of the branches are falling down. Similar to that, after means growing into a certain stage, right? His friends have also means his friends have also deserted from him or separated from him, or they may have means died, right, because of the age. Now, the poet says that he feels like one. He feels like one means he feels like one of the leaves, right? So that also one day fall down. So that is why he pointed, he feels like one. So one is referring to the one of the leaf, right? So he feels like one who treads alone, who walks alone, because now his friends are not with him. So his friends have means might have separated from him or maybe died because of the aging, right? So The meaning of treads alone is called as a walking alone, right? So who treads alone? Some banquet hall deserted, whose lights are fled, whose gallant stayed, and all but he departed. So the poet stated here the beautiful thought that what now his friends have compared with the leaves of the branches, and those leaves which have fall down during the winter weather, right? And the poet finds himself is one of them, one of the leaves, right? That also stays alone, right? So that also walks alone, right? So some banquet hall deserted whose lights are fled. So the poet stated that some people are there who have died, and because of her death, right? People means attend their banquet hall. Banquet hall means a place where people go for mournful or called as a silent prayer. So in that case, the poet says that some banquet halls deserted. So some people who visit or some people who attend the mournful ceremony or death ceremony of the person, so they left the banquet hall, the big place, right, or big hall, right, which is used for the death ceremony of the person, right. So people who visited there, so they left the place. So means some of the lights are also means off, whose lights are fled. So even means the banquet hall or the big hall is now completely empty, right? So the garlands, so garlands means referring to the means flower bouquet, right, which is completely covering of means flower and lips. So you can say that means flower would be there. It's a round shape, right, and lips and flowers both are beautifully decorated into it. So we call it garlands, means which are used for the purpose of means giving to the dead body, right, or means given to the mournful ceremony of the body, right. So people means who have died, right, means they are the friends of the poet, right. They have died because of their age, and means they are physically and mentally weak, and also means they fall like the leaves of the branches. So the poet stated that now he is alone, right? And he finds out that, like his friends who have died and means, whose mournful ceremony has been attended by many, and they left the places. So here you can find out the word deserted. Deserted means abandoned, or means left the place, right? So the banquet hall lights are also means off, and the garlands which are given to the dead body, they means those are also turned into gloomy, and also those are turned into dried, right. And all but he departed, and all but he departed means only he left alone. So that is why the poet here means emotionally expressing, right, his feelings to the readers by stating that what how Dutch means he leave, right. So now he is completely alone, right. So the poet says that at the end, Dutch in the stilly night before slumber's chain has bound me. So means similar to that during the calm and quiet night before the deep sleep means covers him, right. So sad memory brings the light. Sad memory makes him, sad memory makes him means happiness of his past stage, which he means spent with his friends, and when he thinks about his friends. So that is why we consider that this is a poem, right, where means the poet tries to use means repetition. So like you can say that this particular stanza repeated thrice in this poem, right. The lines of this particular stanza means also repeated thrice in this particular poem, where the poet's main thought is nothing but to express his sweet and sad memories of his past. So the poet tries to convey a message also, that what means how he himself feels alone, right. Now think of it, means those of the old age people, right, who stay in our house, right, when they turn into old, right? What happened to them? So they make themselves sit in a one particular place. So they move here and there alone, right? And means sometime also they uh, think about their past stage. They think about their friends. They feel happy. They feel sad also. And those of the friends of him means have died also, right? And means the old man or woman, so they find themselves alone in the place, right? So they also means think themselves that what, now the day will also come when they will also fall like the leaves of the wintry weather. This is the kind of means a memory that the poet means recollects and tries to compare past with the present, and he feels happy and he feels sad by thinking of it. I hope you understand this poem, right? This is a very beautiful poem with a deeper meaning, right? Having the poetical device like means a sonnet, two double sonnets, and the rhyming scheme AB AB CC, and the repetition of the lines. We find out thrice in this poem, right? Some of the simile and metaphor, simile like how the poet compares. When he's saying that what he is also one of the lips, when the poet is comparing means death with the fall, right? The death with the fall of means lips. So those of the things are called as a poetical devices, and those poetical devices make this poem more beautiful than it is. So I hope you understand this poem. So if you have any doubts or query, please do write me. You can also make me call. So this is my contact number, right? So 9692119187. You can also WhatsApp me with the same number, uh, 9692119187. You can also, if you want to send any kind of a feedback or suggestion, please do write to me uh, with this mail ID at the rate gmail.com. Okay, if you like this video, please means, put a thumbs up here, right? That's all. Thank you.